Buy my Gigi's product so your skin can look good as mine.
Isn't that so adorable? Hello, everybody. How are you doing this evening? I know it is so late, but I am such a night owl. I do everything at night. Um, I wanted to come in here and talk to you about your dreams and how important it is for you to keep your dreams alive. Look, 11 to 10 o'clock at night, I'm talking about dreams. Yes, because we're living in such a time. Oh, I didn't even tell you who I am. I am Sky C, your multi hyphenate, your producer, your author, your program administrator, talent activator, and the list goes on and on and on. But I wanted to come here and I wanted to kind of share with you, um, like what I've been up to. I've been trying to come earlier. I was supposed to be on here 7 o'clock, but I am now a product developer. So add that to the list of things. I'm also a product developer, and that's really what I wanted to talk to you about tonight. I was telling you that I was going to have like a surprise for you. I think the last time I was on, I was talking about how to create a parallel government, that you don't have to tap into the government. You can create your own government, meaning you can create your own economy. So if you're an entrepreneur, solopreneur, someone who just wants to work for themselves, tired of the 9 to 5 rat race, this is really the time to do it. And I think the last time I came on, I was talking about in the time of recession and depression, the reason why people make so much money is because whenever there's a lot of problems to solve, there's a lot of answers that are needed. And so that's one of the reasons I wanted to come here. I just like I didn't want to go to bed without coming and kind of sharing, because the product is going to be out probably on the first, whatever day that's on. It's going to be coming out, and I'm really excited about it. I'm really emotional about it actually, because it is the most incredible thing to like when I embarked on this journey to starting my own business and to living life for myself. I just knew that it was more to life than just going to work, paying bills, and having your stuff own you. I've never been one to be a people pleaser. I've never been one to worry about what the Joneses were doing. I've always kind of marched to the beat of my own drum. And one of the main things about me that I love about myself is that freedom is very important to me. And I didn't realize that even though being an entrepreneur and having your own business, it is challenging, but it's challenging in a very fulfilling, in a very satisfying way, more satisfying than anything I have ever done, in my life. And I learned so much about myself. I learned so much about things that I'm capable of that I didn't even know that I was capable of. I learned like how really smart that I really am, how really brilliant I am. I learned, like just how to maneuver and operate in my gifts. I learned that business isn't just something that you do, it's a calling. And I learned that I am incredible at it. Like I have such a business mind, and I have come to respect business people. But I want to raise the bar. I want to raise the standard. I want us to operate, those of us that are entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, I want us to raise the bar of integrity and honesty. Even though, this product, was great, sometimes you just encounter people that do not have any work ethic at all. They have no people skills, no interpersonal skills, no, it's incredible. I wrote a business etiquette book in honor of my grandmother, who taught me etiquette at a young age. She started when I was 9 years old. Growing up in the hood, she didn't want the hood to grow up in me. But at the same time, she wanted me to stay true to myself, to stay true to who, to who I was. And I found that to be so invaluable, to just stay true to yourself and who you are, and maintain your standards, and maintain your morals, and your honesty, and your integrity. Like, now more than ever, it's time to really, to take a stand. And I think that those of us that are entrepreneurs, that are business owners, I think that we are really phenoms. We are really phenomenal people, because we are going to, come up against the status quo. We're going to disrupt markets and create new things. And so that's the thing that I really love about my dream, or when you have a dream, that although sometimes you do want to give up, sometimes you do want to quit. I've had those days that I've wanted to quit, but I just get up and I just keep creating. I keep tapping into my gift. I keep tapping into, my talent. And the more I tap into it, the more gifts and talents I'm given. And this product is very near and dear to my heart, because I created it. I created this product. Um, it's called Essence Renewal. It's a glow refiner, but I created this product for my granddaughter. When she was a baby, she had eczema, and I did not, I grew up in a time where we didn't wear makeup. We just kind of took care of our skin. And I did not want that, whatever that thing was, all over her face. And so I come, from a time I'm always putting together some type of formula. I call it concoctions. I'm always putting together some, homemade, remedy, something, because I've always been a person that just didn't really like doctors. I just always got a bad vibe from them. you know, Even as a child, it just seemed like the stuff that they wanted to do just didn't make any sense to me. And I got into natural, because I raised my children on natural things. My children hardly ever got sick. They hardly ever got colds. They hardly ever got earaches, and all of the stuff that most babies get, my children never got. And it's because I've raised them on natural products. So I've always used natural products. And it's really interesting how I came about using the natural products. I was living in Maryland at the time. I was living in Oxon Hill, Maryland. I think it was around maybe like 93, 92, 93, somewhere around in there. And I was going to a business school. And the instructor, he would come, he would never talk about business. And it really bothered me. It got on my nerves, actually. I'm like, he would come in and he would talk about herbs. He would talk about different herbs that you could take, and for this particular thing is wrong with you. He had us go out and buy the matter of fact, I still have the book. He had us go out and buy this book with all of these, like, recipes actually in the book, according to whatever ailment you had. And I just thought, bruh, like, I'm trying to learn business. And then one day he came in, he was asking about our poop, that our poop flowed, or, what shape was our poop. I was like, okay, all right, time out, time out. Are you going too far? So, but he was so right. He was so right in teaching us. He was just doing it at the wrong time. But teaching us about our colon, and how important it was for us to keep our colon clean, and, do a colon cleanse. And, I would go, we went out and we bought the book. Like I said, I still have the book and I still use it. So when my granddaughter, had eczema, I started to, do my research, and I pulled out that book, and I put together something that caused the eczema to literally go away. Because I believe that eczema is a fungus. And so I treated it as a fungus. Y'all know I'm a scientist. Y'all know I'm a scientist. I got to get my science on, and, get my little lab coat and everything. And so I put together a concoction and the eczema, it went away. So it cleared up, but the darkness was like still there. It kind of left, some darkness, like hyperpigmentation on her skin, and that was unacceptable. So that's how I came up with the Glow Refiner. I came up with the Glow Refiner so that we could have an even skin tone, and she could have her even, get her even skin tone back. As you can see, her skin is like totally clear. And as I was thinking about, the launch of this product, I was thinking the product, she was my muse, she was the reason I made the product. So why not put her, in it? We're going to probably shoot another commercial, but I just wanted her just to really be a part of it. And I just thought it was just so adorable. I said, come here. I, s- say these lines. And she's 4 years old now, and and it's awesome just to really see her before, and so smart. And I gave her the little lines, and I said, here, hold this product," and she nailed it. Like, she just nailed it. Like, she's just such a natural. And I said, yeah, I really want you to be a part of this campaign, because you're the reason that it came about. And so that's why it really means so much to me to be able to bring this product to the market. And this is the thing. Out of everything I do, and I do a lot of stuff. I write books. I'm learning how to write scripts. I'm going to be writing movies, and I've always written songs and poetry. I used to write scripts and plays when I was young. It's like when you begin to use your gifts and you begin to tap into your dreams, it literally opens up the door to more gifts, to because they all work in conjunction. And I said, you know what, I'm going to come on, even though I'm late. I'm going to come on anyway, because so many people need to continue to push. You need to be able to continue to push your dreams through. And I was like, man, this is incredible that I absolutely have a product, and there's more products to come. Like, this is not the only product. I have a whole line of products that I'm working on. This is just the first one that launched. And it was really interesting because when I created this product, of course, we had to beta test it. And I wasn't even thinking about the men. I really wasn't, even though I normally do, like, because men always get forgotten about. And so the beta test also included men. And so, the lady, she was like, the men are really loving it for their, their after, when they shave, they get like dark spots on their face and everything. And I said, wow, I didn't even think about the men. She was like, yes, it's working on the men. And before the product even came out, everybody's using the product. I was like, are we going to get this product to market? Like, everybody's using the product, because I didn't want to put something out that took forever to work. And I'm going to come on and I'm going to tell you the whole process. And we're going to go through, soup to nuts, the whole thing, A to Z. But one of the things is that your skin has 7 layers. And so a lot of times when you buy products, you really want to see quick results. But the product has to penetrate, 7 layers. So it has to really get down into the cellular level, and you have to consistently use it. And so I said, well, I want a product. I want to create a product that's going to not only penetrate the 7 layers, but to see results as it's penetrating. So that's like, well, no, 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 no. Normally, that's just not the way it's done. And I'm just like, I don't do things normally. I'm not a normally type person. I'm a very disruptive, turn it upside down, shake it up type person. So I said, no, I want to do a renewal. I want to renew every level of your skin. So I want a really deep, penetration, and I want them to see results like quickly. And so that's really what happened. And I use the product, myself. I also tested it, and I really didn't realize I was testing it. I had an accident where I fell, and I had a huge blood clot on the side of my under my arm, on my whole side, down my thigh to the top of my knee. And if you know anything about bruised blood, when it turns black, it takes a long time to go away. It's like having a black eye. And then I thought, man, this is going to take a long time to go away if it ever goes away. And I thought about this formula that I made, and I literally put it on. And I can't show you because I would have to like be naked because it's on my side. But I might try to show it to you and try to take out the inappropriate parts. But it went away in like 2 days, and I thought, wow. But what I'm noticing is that it penetrates quickly on the first, I think, 3 layers of the skin. So I'm coming out with a gel that's going to penetrate deeper. So it's going to penetrate because some people have hyperpigmentation that's been, like maybe if you have darkened thighs on the inside from your legs or something rubbing together, and it's been doing it for a really, really long time. It's really, really dark in there. So that means that it's been there so long that it's penetrated deeper. And so I'm making something a little bit stronger than this that would be able to penetrate all the way down to all 7 layers, of the skin. And then I'm going to come and empower you and teach you, just a regimen, period. Because I think that we need to get back to our authentic selves. I remember when I first started coming on Periscope. I started coming on Periscope, and I was just like, I don't want to put on all that makeup. Just don't want to do it. And I just didn't want to do that. I just wanted to be myself. And I remember I would go on people's lives, and then I would go to their websites or go to their Instagram, and they would have on all this makeup. And I don't have anything against makeup, but I just want to look like me. And I remember I would go back to their Periscope, their live, and then go to their page, and it was like it looked like two totally different people. And I said, that's not how, it's like, how do you want to show up in the world? And maybe that's how you want to show up. That's not how I want to show up. I want to show up as me. And I wear wigs and all kind of ponytails and all kind of, attachments and stuff to my hair. I took my wig off, and I literally cut off all my hair because I wanted to see me. I want you to relate to me. I want to be able to connect to you. And so something happened. Like every time I do this stuff, like these breakthroughs start happening. And it was a freeing. Like it just freed me to just, and even when I like wear wigs and stuff, I try to wear stuff that looks natural to me. So like if I was to grow my hair this long, this is what my hair would look like, So I don't want to come on live and look like somebody else. My printer, when I do my flyers and stuff, yes, I do flyers. Yeah, I do. And I distribute them because I'm a face-to-face type person. So I have a whole offline community and relationships and people I deal with offline. And when I walked in the door for the first time, she walked over to me and she gave me my flyers. And I said, how did you know it was me? She said, because I can look at your flyer and I can tell that's you. And I was just like, wow, that's what I want. I want to look like me. And so when I came up with the Glow Refiner, I thought about the Essence Renewal. The essence means spirit, the spirit, your true self, who you really are. And sometimes we get bumps and bruises and wounds, and it has to be a renewal that takes place. So that's how I came up with the name of Essence Renewal, because I want you to get back to you, to get back to who you authentically are. I want you to be, not just becoming, but just to be exactly who you are, flaws and all. When I wrote my first book, it's called The Diamond Anointing. I studied the diamond, And one of the things about a diamond, what makes the diamond unique and different is its flaws. When they cut the diamond, it's almost like the design of the diamond comes out. So if there's a flaw in the diamond, they don't cut the flaw out. They literally leave the flaw in because that's part of the brilliance of the diamond. And that's how we are. We are diamonds. And we always try to cover up our flaws and, the things about ourselves that we don't like because we think that, people are going to say, like, whatever they're going to say. But that's you, you know, that's part of who you are. Show up as that. So I wanted to come on and encourage you to to follow your dreams. I would have never even thought that I would ever even create a product. I wasn't even thinking about creating a product. But because when you're a creator, it's so organic. Your gifts and your talents are being so stirred up that you're tapping into the essence of who you are. And things are it's like going on a treasure hunt on the inside of you. And you're literally discovering new nuggets and gems that you didn't even know were there. And so I didn't even know, that this was like inside of me, just like, being a producer. I'm now a producer. And I wasn't even thinking about being a producer. That was the furthest thing from my mind. I create programs. I started creating programs in my church in 1995. And so that's what it is that I do. And it has evolved, to help so many people. And so that's why it's so important for you to not give up on your dreams. It's important for you to keep pushing, regardless of what's going on in the world. Don't worry about what's going on in the world. I saw an interview with Jay-Z, and he was saying, like, I don't really care about what everybody else is doing. I'm focusing on what it is I'm doing. I'm getting in my lane, and I'm doing what it is, that I'm called to do. Most of the time when I'm creating something, I don't go online. I do not share, online. I just pop up and share what I have and then I disappear. But I'm working on like really getting better with that. So I wanted to share with you some benefits and to give you some encouragement just to keep going. Like, keep living your dream because your dream wants to be born. Your dream is like, it's like a baby. And these are some of the things that I noticed like along the way as I'm pressing forward, into my dream, not concerning myself with what's going on with the government. I'm creating my own government. I'm creating my own economy. And I remember when I used to go to work every single day and would come home and pay bills. And I was in the land of just enough. I didn't have enough money to buy really anything extra because all my money was tied up in things, you know, bought a house, bought a car, and all, and paying mortgage and insurance and you just go to work just to pay bills, and even if you do have something left over. I remember just thinking like, how about you don't feel like going to work every day? And so when you're a creator, you have the freedom to make as much money as you want. You have the freedom of working for yourself. I just met an incredible person. I literally just met an incredible person because a friend of mine, because I support my friends. So a friend of mine had an event. He just opened up a new studio, Cabo Studios. So if you guys want to do content and you need some space, head on over to Cabo Studios. I've been knowing him since like 2017. I think I had just really kind of like gotten serious about starting my business. So if you need a space, go on over there and tell them Sky sent you over there to Cabo Studios. So he was having an event. I hadn't seen him in a while, and but I always try to support whatever it is that he's doing because he's always doing something incredible. And I met a couple that was there, and I was telling them about my product. I was really just about to go pick my product up, um, just the finishing touches, working on the finishing touches on it. And they was like, wow, you got a product get ready to hit the market. I'm like, yes, I'm a product developer now. And they were like, yeah, I know somebody that you may want to talk to. And see, because you have to make sure that your product is safe. You got to make sure that, the ingredients in there for the shelf life, and, all of the parts, all the stuff, parts that you don't know how to do. So my prayers got answered because I met, they introduced me to, and I just had a meeting with, actually just yesterday, a chemist. And he's going to help me develop the rest of my line and the rest of my products and everything. Isn't that amazing? Like, oh my goodness, so amazing. So I'm so super excited about that. We had a great meeting, and it's really important that you align yourself with people that are like-minded. We have like similar work ethics, and we are all about helping the people, because this is a product, for the people. If you have hyperpigmentation, if you have, eczema or anything like that, because it kind of softens the skin, not in a harsh way, but in a very gentle way. So I wanted to be a cream in a very gentle way, um, to get rid of those dark spots, that you normally have. Remember, I told y'all, I was using it; it was taking away my freckles. I was like, oh goodness. So it definitely works probably down to third level of your skin, third layer of your skin. So I'm going to make something that's going to go deeper down to your skin. Um, so I did have some points that I wanted to talk about. Because I didn't want to forget, because it's like 10:30 and I need to be in the bed. But I just want you to just be encouraged to keep going, and just free yourself. Have the goal that you will, replace your income that you're making, like with your job, because they're trying to get rid of all of these jobs. I don't care what it is that you do. They're trying to get rid of a lot of these jobs, and AI is taking over a lot of things, but nothing can really replace that human, that human touch. And so many people don't know, and it didn't really cost a lot because it's all natural ingredients. So it didn't really cost a lot for me to make it, because like I said, I had made it and had been using it, on my granddaughter for like the last 4 years. And you see her skin is so clear. And my daughter was like, you should just go ahead and do it. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and do it. I'm just going to make the product. And it's doing it did very well, in the testing phase. It did very well. So you guys will be able to get it like really, really soon. And there's more, more to come. Um, yeah. So let's see what I put. When you follow your dreams, you become proof that it's possible. Every step you take shows others it can be done. Your journey becomes somebody else's breakthrough, because people want to give up and they have to have a reason to keep on going. And you are proof. I have been through and had to face and deal with so many things, but my outlook is always positive. I've never allowed anything that I have gone through to defeat me. Every single, because you know what? That is the essence and the spirit of an entrepreneur. You can't break our spirit, no matter what. Everything for me has been a learning process. I shared with you, some of you that followed me and my son when we did the show, how rejection taught me, it just taught me direction. It taught me where I'm supposed to be, where I'm not supposed to be. Being abandoned on the corner at 4 years old, it taught me how to be led by the Spirit of God. So most people would internalize that, grow up, be angry at their mother, be angry at their parents. Oh, you left me. But things in life, they happen for a reason. It's up to you to find the reason. You We have a tendency to focus on the bad thing. You did this bad thing, but I don't have to react or respond the way that you think that I should. When I sit back and I look at my life, and people ask me, how did you make it through this and how you make it through that? That's how I made it through. People that are business minded, that are entrepreneur, we will find a way to flip the script every time. I call it the Uno reverse, baby. We will Uno reverse on you so quick. Okay, you think you got us? We slippery. You discover strength you didn't know you had. Oh my goodness. You discover strength you did not know you had. Being an entrepreneur and a businesswoman has taught me so much about myself. It has taught me so much about people. And it has, because I value my freedom. And all that getting up, going to work, I don't feel like getting up sometimes at 7 o'clock. I might not feel like getting up till 10. When you're an entrepreneur, you get up whatever time you want to get up. I get up, and when I get up, I do what I'm supposed to do. So it gives you a freedom. When you pushing through your fears, I remember when I first used to get on Periscope, I used to get on Periscope and cry. Oh, why I gotta do that? I just like face to face. Why they gotta, I don't like where you gotta keep coming on. It's like where the people at? Oh, it was just so difficult. And it was just coming out of your comfort zone. It was just like, coming out your comfort zone. It's like, oh, I thought you said you was fearless. Okay, Miss Fearless, what you crying for? I had to push through those tears and failure. Yeah. You fail, but failure is not a failure if you don't get up and try again. The failure is the lesson. The light, we wouldn't be sitting here in the light if he didn't fail thousands of times, like hundreds of times he fell before he got that thing to work that one time. And that's all you need. All you needed to do is for it to work that one time. When I put together this product, I knew it was going to work because it was already working, because I had already been using it on my granddaughter. So I knew it was going to work. So putting it together in a formal way was only going to just make it better. So she was like, yeah, you got an awesome product on your hands. I'm like, yeah, I've been using it. Anything we add to it is only just going to make it better. And so, pushing through that fear and pushing through that failure and pushing through that doubt. Doubt is only a question in disguise. So if you write your questions down and get those questions answered, when I first started my business, my questions and the things that I was facing, my pain points, I became my own avatar. I created my first avatar was me. Like, what pain points do I have? What things am I facing? Because whatever it is that you're going through, you're not going through alone. People are going through it as well. So it reveals to you your inner power and your unshakable faith. That's why you hear me say I'm invincible, I'm unstoppable, because I have dealt with so many things. And you have people turn on you, you got people talking about you, you have people, but you don't even realize all of that is your promotion. I remember I worked on a job. The girl would always go to my supervisor and always lie on me and everything. And I'm like, I'm not even bothering this girl. But what it did was it caused them to start watching me. It started them to cause watching me. And she would go and tell my supervisor, oh, she came to work late. And so when they have to watch you to see if what she's saying is true. Not only did I not come to work late, I was always early. I'm always early. My daughter be like, why we got to be an hour and a half early? Because this is how I roll. So my supervisor, he said, and all the other supervisors, all the other general managers, they was like, not only is she not late, she the only one that's here when we come in. If anybody is late, it was the one who went and lied and said that I was late. And guess what they did? They promoted me. And one time I got promoted, they came to me, they said, it's a job that's getting ready to open. We want you to apply for it because we're going to put you in that position. But we have to put it out for everybody to apply. They do that. It's a real thing. but we already picked you. Why? Because you got to make sure that the things that people are saying about you is not true. Let them gossip. Don't you know that people lying on you will get you promoted? Yes, remember, y'all always talk about Joseph. Well, how did Joseph end up in jail? Because somebody lied on him. Remember? So it reveals to you your inner power and your unshakable faith. Because when you're an entrepreneur, when you're a business person, you're really going when you're building from the ground up, because a business has to be built. So you're building from the ground up, you're going against gravity. You don't think things are going to push against you? Absolutely. When you get resistance, what does resistance do? What is it? It builds what? Muscle. So when resistance comes, it builds your faith. I'm telling you, it builds your faith, it builds your confidence, it builds, your inner power, and you get to see yourself in a different way. That's why you cannot give up on your dreams, because it's making you. The situation is making you. Don't worry about what the people say. What they're them talking about you, they're your footstool. They don't listen. They don't realize they're fueling you. They are fueling you. Don't worry about the tortoise in the hare. Don't worry about who's passing you. Don't worry about who looks like they're ahead of you. Because let me tell you something. When you go to these jobs and that's your only source of income, God forbid you get sick or something happens, you're gonna lose everything you have. You're gonna lose everything you have. So for me personally, I didn't want to work for stuff. I just didn't want to accumulate a whole lot of stuff. This is way more satisfying. When you begin to work in your dream and in your business, you are going to start seeing money eventually. You are, because it's all going to come together. And see, for me at this point, I'm just diversifying what it is that I do. So I'm building upon what I already do, and I'm adding more to it. And so I'm making money naturally. And I'm making money when I want to. Not when somebody tell me that I have to come to work. Not when somebody tell me to go to lunch. Not when somebody tell me when I can take vacation. I can take vacation whenever I want to take vacation. And I can go wherever it is I want to go. I'm on my third passport. Okay. Third one. So freedom, whatever it looks like for you. For me, I want to be free. I'm free. I was born free, and I'm going to stay free. That's it. So you build a legacy, not just a brand. Your dream leaves footprints for others, your kids, your community, and your generation. Now that's powerful. And that's important to me. It's important to me to leave legacy. It's important to me that that's my granddaughter, that I leave the inheritance for her that I'm supposed to leave for her. And I do what I'm supposed to do while I'm here. While you're at a job, you're not fulfilling your purpose. While you work, you're fulfilling somebody else's dream when you work at a job. So you turn your pain, and it sounds so cliche, I know, but it's so true. You turn your pain into purpose. Those setbacks, those losses, those no's, it becomes your fuel. I'm telling you, it is so true. It becomes your fuel. See, I'm a woman of purpose. I'm a woman of substance. I don't do anything without purpose. You will not see me running around over here. Remember, I talked to you about the Mary and the Martha syndrome. Some people have the Martha syndrome. They just running around everywhere. But they're not really making any impact. They just want to be seen. I don't have time for that. I'm building legacy. Turning pain into purpose is what gives your life substance. So don't get discouraged when you have setbacks. Those setbacks are only going to slingshot you even further down the road, because you have to sit back and think, and be like, okay, all right, that didn't quite work out. Let me tweak that a little bit. Maybe I could do that a little bit differently. And maybe you just need a little bit more information. A loss is not really a loss, because we are spirit. which is energy. And energy is never lost, it's always transferred. So a loss is not really a loss. A loss is sometimes something that you don't really need. That thing that you thought you lost, you didn't really need it. And so it was weighing you down. And that goes for every area of your life, whether it's relationships, you feel as though you lost a relationship. And it's all about your perspective. It's all about how you reframe things. You don't always have to look at things in a negative way. Having a positive outlook does not mean you walk around being happy all the time. It means that you find the good in everything. So it becomes fuel for something more meaningful and for something more powerful, you know, in your life. When I worked at jobs, you all know I'm a public servant, and I work for the federal, the city, and the state government. And the office politics that you have to deal with, going to work and people gossiping, it's such a toxic, suffocating environment. And it doesn't fit who I am. It just doesn't fit me. I'm a free spirit. I have to be free because I don't do the backbiting. I don't. If I have something to say to you, I'm just gonna say it to you. And so that it's such a it's so, and it's not even just always your co-workers. When I worked for social services before I moved here to Houston, Texas, I left because it was the HR department. Y'all think the HR people are on your side. It was the HR department that was gossiping. The supervisors was gossiping. And it was terrible. See, because me, I worked as a union rep. And the union reps, we kind of get to know what's going on behind the scenes at the job. Y'all might not know what's going on, but we know what's going on. And it was disgusting to the point that it made me sick to my stomach. It was literally making me physically sick to be in such a toxic environment where people, and it's always the people that don't have room to talk about anybody that be doing all the gossiping. You know what I mean? And they be the most miserable people. And then come to work and, for me, I'm a professional. I don't come to work to make friends. I come to work to do a job. This is not the social hour for me. So I'm a very private person. I'm not coming to work talking to you about my husband, my boyfriend, my significant other, my partner, nobody. I didn't have any pictures of my children at my job. This is not personal. This is not social. This is a professional environment. And people come to work and treat it like it's elementary schoolyard, talking about people. And the thing that was so horrible about that is that a lot of times people are not going to take the time to find out whether something that's being said about you is true or not. They're not. They don't even realize that they can affect your livelihood. I think that it really should be against. It should be a policy against coming to work and gossiping, because I've seen people literally get fired because somebody lied. When you go after your dream and you keep your dream alive, you inspire others to dream again. When people see you launch, see your potential reignited. And see, eventually this is going to be in stores. When I had the meeting, we talked about, putting these products in stores. This is not just going to be something I'm going to be selling off of my website and my Shopify or my Etsy store. This is going to be in stores, boutiques, different places, because I'm not just making products for vanity. I'm making products so you can get back to the essence of the real you, of who you really are. Because as you get older and you age, things start happening to your face and, oh my God, your body. You be like, what's going on? So you move from survival to significance. You're no longer just trying to make it, you're making impact. Now, these are all things that are important to me. They may not be important to you, but they're important to me. It's important for me because for many, many years of my life, I was in survival mode, running over here, running over there, running over here, going to work, doing this, going over there, doing that, like a hamster on a hamster wheel. You just spinning your wheels, going around in circles. You're tired all the time. You're grumpy. You're frustrated. You know what I mean? And you're just like not like life has to be more than it has to be more to life than this. I remember thinking it has to be more to life. It has to be. And I'm like, I'm gonna follow my dreams no matter what. Because not only is my dream going to help me save your life, but it's going to save my life. And I can breathe again. I've come a really long way. This has been a very long journey, for me. And to get up and to be able to create and to write books and to make impact and to talk to people and to now, make products. And I'm starting my own branding company. I have my own beauty company. Like, who would have ever thought that I would be like doing all this stuff, all because I stepped out on faith. I quit my job in 2013 and I said, whatever that looks like, however it's going to show up, I'm going to follow my dreams. That's it. And I'm going to go from surviving to thriving and live my life with substance and purpose. And it is the most fulfilling, satisfying thing I've ever, ever, ever done. So you got to keep going. And you prove God's plan is still in motion. God has a plan for you. I said, God, you got a plan for me. What is it? Let's get to work. And so I have, and the people are like, I'm not creative. We're all creative. You're just not tapping into your creativity because you're not using it. The more you use it, the more creativity, will come. And my brain, my dendrites have my money tree is expanding because I have so many ideas, that I'm really giving birth to. And I noticed that it's like your body. Your body is like a super highway. When you look at it, it looks like a mess. Like all this stuff is connected, and then you got sub layers to that layer, but it all works. It all works to create you. So even the delays, the detours, your launch reminds the world that your purpose does, oh my God, it doesn't expire. There's no expiration date to your dreams. Stop trying to be in a hurry. I remember, in the rat race, going to work every day. And I remember one day I prayed and I just was like, God, it has to be more to life than this. It's got to be more. And I remember he laid on my heart, you got to find your own rhythm. See, because when you work for somebody else, everything is all about their dream and what their objectives and their purpose and where their company is going and what they want to do. And you're kind of like marching to the beat of their drum. And I just remember like, wow, that's really deep. Find your own rhythm. And ever since I found my own rhythm, got in my own lane, my life changed. It's like the horse with the blinders on. You don't really see anybody else because you're so immersed in the plan that God has for you. What is a detour? A detour is normally a redirection or a dead end street. What do you do at a dead end street? You turn around. These delays and detours, they're directions. That life is telling you can't go no further. Turn around. When you're lost, what do? You go back to the place where you made the wrong turn. So you don't take everything so negatively. Oh, it's a detour. We at the end of the line. The most expensive houses live on dead end streets. They call them cul-de-sacs. So it reminds you, your dream, it reminds you that the world, that your purpose doesn't expire. And to me, that's exciting. Nobody would have ever told me that I would create a product and have a whole product line coming out and just really even be in the beauty industry at all, you know. But I guess it's only natural. My mother was beautiful. My aunts were beautiful. My grandmother was beautiful. You know, people give me compliments to say I'm beautiful. Why not go into the beauty industry? It's just the natural progression, so organic. It would be the next step to go, you know. So you create your own paycheck. You shift. Oh my God. Don't make me jump out this chair. You shift from waiting on approval to walking in authority and ownership. When you get your paycheck, somebody else signs your paycheck. I sign my own paychecks. And my one of my goals is to retire myself. I'm not going to wait for somebody to retire me. They keep raising the retirement age. It's going to be all these 90-year-olds still working, paying off their 30-year mortgages. Like, no, no, mortgage, the death certificate. You shift from creating your own paycheck to waiting on approval and walking in authority and ownership. Oh my God. Because see, I done already did the house thing and the car thing and the job thing, and you got a nice job and you make a lot of money and you got the house and you got the car. Okay. And then what? And now what? And see, that's the trap. That's the trap. Because they got you chasing material things, but really what it is you're really a slave. Because all the money you make, you're just giving it back to the bank, and then you go get a paycheck from your job, and then what you do? You take it to the bank, and then you go and you pay your mortgage, and who you give it to? You give it to the bank, and then you go pay your car note, and then who you give your car note to? You give it to the bank. So really, you're just you're just a slave because it's going right back to the bank. So what you're really working for is possessions, and that's not going to fulfill you. Ask P. Diddy. So, what number we on? Did I number them? It's almost time to go. Okay. You break generational cycles, not just curses, but cycles. By launching your dreams, you silence every you can't spoken over your bloodline. And let me tell you something. Let me tell you the beautiful thing. People count you out. Don't you love it? Don't you love when people underestimate you? I do. Know why? Because when people underestimate you, they don't see you coming. I'm creating I'm doing a creative thing. I don't want to call it a club, but it's going to be like a membership for creatives because I think that we have to go underground because it's too much. We're sharing too much information online. Um, and this doesn't belong to us. Back to ownership. That's why my product is going to be sold on um, my website. So every time somebody told you you can't, those can'ts, you are eliminating them. You are breaking cycles because life is lived in cycles. That's what the moon is about, the sunset and the sunrise. Those are cycles in your life, cycles of poverty, cycles of lack. You're breaking that. You're writing your own paycheck. I can make however much money I want to make. Depends on how much I want to work on my dream. I don't have to wait for anybody's permission. I don't have to wait for anybody's approval. I can take my laptop with me wherever I go and make money wherever I'm at. You know what I'm saying? And so that's the type of freedom that I wanted for my life. And that's not the type of freedom that I got for my job. And then you go to your job. If you're attractive, matter of fact, it was a young lady. She was just talking about this. She said, if you work at these jobs and you're attractive, they're jealous of you. I had to deal with that too. People are jealous of you. If you're an attractive person, they are jealous of you. and they create all kind of issues and create all kind of lies and all types of toxicity towards you because you're attractive, you dress nice, you look good, and you get attention without trying. Oh my goodness, people don't like that. And you don't want to go to work in that environment. I didn't want to go to work in that environment every single day. The stuff that was going on when I worked at the Department of Social Services was literally making me physically sick. The gossip, the talking about the people, and like you work at this job, but you just like one paycheck away from being unemployed, homeless. You one paycheck away from being on food stamps yourself. You one paycheck away from being on Section 8, which I'm going to come and talk to you because I work for housing on Section 8. I don't know why they are targeting Section 8. Section 8 people work and pay rent. So, but that's a whole nother show for another time. But you want paycheck away yourself. You at this job, you're miserable. You don't want to be here. And so you're trying to make everybody else's life miserable. Like, no. So when you follow your dreams, you break those cycles. You know, you silence those people that told you you can't. And this is the beautiful thing. This is the beautiful part. You honor the gift inside you. Your dreams are divine deposits. I've created I'm trademarking a watermark because all of my products are going to be watermarked because I don't use AI. Most of my books was written before AI came out. God gives me so many ideas every single day. I may brainstorm and put something in there to get a different perspective on something, but I don't go to AI. People are talking about they're using AI as a therapist. What? No, 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 no. So I have a watermark that I'm trademarking to go on all of my products that God has given me. Your dreams are divine deposit. Launching them is your yes to your destiny. He said, I know the plan that I have for you. It is in his plan for me to be a product developer. Who knew? So that's why you cannot give up on your dreams, because your dreams are not only going to save you, but it's going to save other people. So that's all I wanted to share with y'all tonight. I'm sleepy. It's going on 11 o'clock. I just wanted to encourage you to just keep going. Don't give up. And don't allow the opinions of other people to be more important than the words that you speak over your own life. Let me tell you something. I have found, and I grew up in the hood, so I didn't see some of the worst stuff that you could ever see. These are some of the most miserable people. And let me tell you something else. Let me tell you this. This just came to me. I am accomplishing more by myself than I could have ever accomplished with anybody else. It's like God is blessing me as if I had a partner. Well, he is my partner. But this is the thing that I love. And, I'm just talking about myself. I'm just sharing my story. I'm just sharing my testimony. I'm not interested in being married. I don't want to be married. I don't have anything against marriage. I have a marriage ministry. But it is a beautiful thing when you can accomplish something by yourself that you see two people doing that couldn't do it alone. Don't give up on yourself. Show up for you. They're coming against you because they know what you have inside. Do not allow the words that people speak, because let me tell you something. The words that they're speaking, they don't even believe them themselves. You don't believe your own words. What makes you think I'm going to believe them? How do I know you don't believe your own words? Because you won't even step out on faith and follow your dreams. This is Sky Chase. I will see you guys tomorrow. You know, you come here, we're going to cut to the chase every single time. So I'll be here tomorrow on time. I think 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock is like, by the time 8 o'clock come, I've eaten my dinner and yeah, 8 o'clock. So I'm still kind of working out my schedule and my content schedule because I have so many things that I want to talk about and so many things that I want to do. So I'm going to do them on like different days. You know, I'm going to do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Sunday is going to be self-care Sunday. Most of the time people do it on Saturday, but mine is going to be on Sunday. So you guys keep pushing, keep the faith, and don't give up on your dreams. I'll see you tomorrow.
Buy my Gigi's product so your skin can look good as mine.